What is God like? There are few questions of greater importance for the Christian, and merely asking this question is a huge step towards growth and understanding your purpose in this life that you're living. We begin here because proper understanding of God is absolutely essential to a rightly lived life. And there's really good news on this front. God invites you to get to know what He's like. He wants you to know Him. He's given us His Word, the Bible, godly people, nature, and so many other ways for you to get to know what He's like. But the answer to the question, what is God like, is by no means simple. You can say, well, I heard that God is love, and you'd be right, but only partially. You could as easily say that God is holy, or maybe God is all-powerful. Here's our problem. God is bigger, better, more complex, and yet more simple than anything else in our experience. It's a little bit tricky for us to grasp the concept of what God is like just because our minds are finite and God is infinite. You see, we can't fully comprehend the infinite. It means having no bounds or being limitless. And we call some things limitless, or we say a thing knows no bounds, but really if you think about it, you can find limits or bounds to any of those things. The only thing that doesn't ring true for is God. He really is never-ending, wholly unlimited and unbounded. Thinking about God from the perspective we have with regards to time, the Scripture reveals God as everlasting in Isaiah 9 and eternal in Romans 16, as well as countless other places in the Bible. He doesn't have a beginning or an end. He goes on forever. Basically, God is bigger than time. He swallows up time. God does not have a starting point because, unlike us, He wasn't made. We were made. We have a beginning, but there's nothing bigger than God. He is infinite. From the perspective of space, God is just as big. 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles declare that the heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain Him. He's bigger than heaven, than earth, than the whole universe. You can't measure God in any direction. He just sort of keeps going and going. Being infinite, He doesn't dwell in space. He swallows up space. Jeremiah 23 says that the Lord fills up heaven and earth, but think bigger. God fills up heaven and earth as the ocean fills a bucket which has been submerged in it a mile down. He surrounds it all. Theologians call it omnipresent, which technically means that He's close to everywhere. Psalm 139 tells us that there isn't any place where God is not, and Acts 17 tells us that He's not far from any one of us. Proverbs 15 says that the eyes of the Lord are in every place. The thing that we need to take from all this is just how great our God is. He's huge, bigger than anything we can possibly understand, and yet He cares about each one of us on an extremely intimate level. In discovering what God is like, we see something cool, a God that is big enough to warrant our worship. But knowing what God is like by no means stops here. Come back next time, and we'll look at God from another angle, and we'll see more of just how amazing He is, and how great it is that the one so amazing wants to call us friends.